steps for 2026. My name is Sylvia, and welcome to Prayer Kairos. It's very cold this morning, and we are at football, and it's time to take bold steps for 2026. And I know that in the time past, you try to do things differently, but this year, I feel like God is saying you need to take bold steps if you want me to elevate you. Because if we are in our own worlds, if we're not willing to step out, if we're not willing to do something different, how can God elevate us when we're scared and in one corner? So we must be able to step out and do something different. This morning, been at church and now at football. And yeah, it's taking the bold steps to be flexible and do things a little bit differently. And that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm a football mum, a proud football mum, and I'm a Christian. I love God. And sometimes football and church clash, but you try to do the best and try and meet both. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to miss church and then find an afternoon church. Or sometimes we have to miss football. Kind of like the French will say, comme ci, comme ça, trying to make the two together. So, how do we become bold for 2025? I think boldness comes from within, and boldness comes from seeking God. The first thing that we ought to do is to ensure that we start off our day right. So, what have we done in the morning to align ourselves with the day? Did we just get up rushing? Did we pray before coming out of our houses? What have we done? And I just want to take you through a steps that I do every morning to make sure that I am aligned with God. First thing is that before anybody rises, I allow at least 30 minutes. I worship for about 10 minutes. And after that, I read the Bible. I try to read a chapter. The book of Psalms is quite good because they're all short chapters. I try to read a chapter, and after I've read a chapter, I do what we call like meditating. I think on the word, I ponder the word, or I just sit in silence, just inviting God in my presence and just waiting for God to also speak to me. Although even if it doesn't, I just say to him, this time is for me and you. For this 10 or 15 minutes, I'm just going to sit here in quietness and enjoy your presence. So that's what I do with the third step. And then the fourth step is after I've worshipped, after I've read a chapter from the Bible. It doesn't need to be a chapter. It really depends on how much time you have. You can do a few verses. It really depends on you. There's no fast rules. I tend to do chapters because I have to allow myself at least 40 minutes to do that. So after you've done your worship, you've read your chapter and you've meditated, you've done, you're staying silent. Then after that, what I do is that I pray. That's when prayer comes in. And like before, I used to think prayer was the only thing that I needed to do. But no, there's other things that we need to do because yes, we can pray, but God also wants your time. He wants your time. He wants your attention. He wants you one on one. So when I step out, and then the final thing is I pray. And sometimes during prayer, I would reflect on what I read from the previous chapter, and then I would try to use that to guide my day and my family's day. So those are the steps that I take. And then after that, I'm ready for the day. And I find that once my day has begun in that order, there's just so much calm. The day is calm and everything falls into place. And also, what I find in the evening, there's just so much time after you've done the cooking, after you've put the children to bed, after they've done their homework. There is just so much time. And again, what I do in the evenings, I pray. Probably I pray more in the evenings. I worship and I pray more. So it's just trying to combine everything. And you will find that once you take those steps, that will help you to have a good day and you will be able to be bold. And I think, especially as an older woman, in mid to going up to the 45 up range, sort of rounding it off to the 50, I find that it's time for us to be bold. If you are in a dead church, then you have to evaluate, is this the right place I want to be? If you are in a job that you feel, okay, I've been here for a long time, you want to change, then it's time to make changes, because we can't change unless if we're willing to take bold steps, unless if we are willing to align our actions with the problem. For example, I want a new job. I can't be saying every year I want to change my job, but then what am I doing? Have I updated my CV? Have I prayed about it? Have I presented it to God? Have I even looked for jobs? So, by me praying about it, by me updating my CV, by me approaching people, potential employers, by me actually making an application and getting an interview, is aligning myself with what I want. It's not just me saying it and then I'm not doing it. If I'm in a dead church, have I actually been around and visited some churches? We are all spiritual people and we have that discernment. Have I been to different churches, and what was my experience of their sermons? Did they transform me? So, with everything that we are experiencing, we have to put action into it. So, my encouragement for us, for this family, is that this is our year of boldness. We have to step out. We have to make a difference. We have to align our problems with action, godly inspired action, and we have to be proactive. Try and solve the problem. Look for resources, look for people, look for mechanism of solving your problem, and then we will be bold. God will elevate us. He can only help us when we help ourselves. If we don't help ourselves, God will just say, okay, when you're ready, I will elevate you. So Sylvia, Rachel, when you're ready, I will elevate you. When you're ready, I will help you. But we have to take that step of boldness. Okay? And thank you. I hope this live has been helpful. And I'll see you again on the next live. If you like the message, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this message. I will see you again on the next live. Have an amazing day.